Hello, we are Team 6. We consist of Jesse, Dylan, Iris, Nadja, Rowin and Aran, and this is our research video. This assignment required us to make something that connects the digital and real world. We also had themes to choose from and we had to think about the needs of people. In order to get the answers we needed, we had to do research. In this video, we'll talk about our target audience and our research we did. The first week we focused a lot on our target research. We did quick and dirty research on all age categories and noted what needs these age classes have. We noticed we were more interested in younger audiences, mainly because older audiences might have more trouble with new technologies such as AR and VR, which we wanted to use. We chose children in primary school, aged 8 to 12. For this target audience, AR would fit better, because almost all children can use a smartphone, and most even have a smartphone or iPad. We had to make the app lightweight because not all children have a particularly powerful smartphone. From secondary research on NOS Jeugdjournaal, we noticed that children of this age are adjusting quickly and they become more independent at a quick pace. It doesn't apply to all kids. Some of them have bad conditions at home and some kids simply need more help than others. At the start of this project, the target group still went to school, but later in the project everything went into lockdown, including primary schools. From secondary and contact research, we noticed that kids miss school trips, vacations, and going out with the parents and/or grandparents. This is something we wanted to address with our project. We wanted to make a game that gives kids the feeling of going to another place without actually going to that place. To get more information from our actual target audience, we used online surveys and Zoom meetings to gain knowledge, and we did a prototype playtest with 3 children. Sadly, we could not connect with more children during the pandemic. We asked schools, parents, Facebook groups, but sadly we got denied everywhere because of COVID and the lockdown. Luckily we found some kids through our parents and we found around 8 more kids for other A/B tests and forms. Personas. We did research for 2 personas, a child, 8 to 12 years old, and a parent. We made a test for kids to get to know them better. It has 11 questions and is focused on the child rather than our product. We asked questions to get to know their favorite color, their hobbies, and how to spend their free time. We managed to get 8 children to answer the questions and we got good, reliable answers. We didn't know what to expect from the answers as we got a lot of different results, but we also found patterns. Some of the patterns we found was that kids really like fast food, play sports, and still go outside a lot. We also did a lot of research on parents for a parent persona. We got 28 answers and it's our best answered form. We got much information out of it and we used it to create the persona. Almost all parents have different jobs, but they all have a lot of free time activities in common. They like to take a stroll through the neighborhood or the forest, they love Netflix and watching TV, and even 40% of them play sports. Around 40% had 2 children and 25% had 1 child. The other 35% had more than 2 children. Parents also think of themselves as creative people. They have no to little free time and they're really affected by COVID-19, more than 60%. We made 2 personas out of all this information, a child and a parent. Core experience. Our end product is an interactive AR experience for children in which they can discover new cultures and countries on mobile. AR means augmented reality. It also includes game elements to keep kids interested, like a story, quizzes, and an AR puzzle. The game works best outdoors, encouraging children to go outside. We chose an AR experience because it is the most accessible new technology for children. Our game starts with our main character, Elodie. She guides the kids through the game and experiences. In AR, kids have to follow Elodie's footsteps and they have to place objects on the ground. We want children to feel included in the game, so we added a story and questions. After the game is finished, we want kids to feel like they've discovered something about the country, which in this case is France. A/B tests 1 and 2. Our first A/B test was a survey via Google Forms. We wanted to test which country the children would like to discover the most. Because of limited time, we could only work out one of the countries. We had 11 people aged 7 to 12 who took the test. We had given them a choice of 3 different countries: Japan, Egypt, and France. We first asked them if they recognized the country by showing them a photograph. Then, if they found the country interesting and would like to discover it. We expected that Japan would be most popular because the culture is so different from ours. Eventually it came out that Egypt was quickly recognized, but was not at all popular to actually go to. There were mixed reactions about Japan, and it was not easily recognized by the children. It was also seen as China, for example. France was quickly recognized as well as being popular to discover. This is why we chose France as our country. The second A/B test was also a survey via Google Docs. The test group was 28 people with an age of 7 to 26 years. 9 of them fell within our target group. Everyone who wasn't within the target group was asked to answer if they were children in our target range. This A/B test was for the entire art style. There are 3 mood boards made out of 3 different styles: low poly, stylized and semi-realism. The images on each mood board were numbered so that it could be indicated which image per person was also popular, in addition to what they thought of the entire mood board. We subsequently concluded that semi-realism was not popular at all. It was considered too dark and too scary. Both stylized and low poly were very popular. Most liked the shapes and colors in particular. In the end, stylized was the most popular, so we made our style more like that. But we still applied some low poly, because low poly also helps with the AR performance. A/B tests 3 and 4. The following A/B test 3 was about user interface and user experience. We wanted to test which colors look good for the prototype, and we wanted to test which character was the best fit for our project. We did a questionnaire on Google Forms, since this was easy for us to manage. For this test, we let people of all ages test, but they still had to tell us their age so we could manage our data. We wanted to know this data so we can change our UI to a more suitable style for the game. We thought people would choose the male character, but 90% or more voted for the female character, which was quite a shock because we already wrote a story for the male character. We also wanted to measure the colors people liked in-game, and it seemed that all colors except yellow did really well. We later on changed the UI again to a more suitable style fitting with the theme and also a more childish style. The last A/B test for the prototype went really well. We asked 3 children, 2 aged 10 and 1 aged 11, but we sadly could not arrange more meetings and tests because of the lockdown. We wanted to find out what kids would think of the game and the story, if they felt like they learned something or discovered something, and if they would actually like to play it outside. We wanted to know this for the further development of our concept so we could get some things straight. We made the test with a Google presentation and a live interview through Zoom and Microsoft Teams. We could see the children and we took a lot of notes. We didn't record because of privacy reasons, and since we were taking detailed notes, it was okay. We chose to take notes so we could also document all the tiny details kids tell us, without actually telling us. We thought kids might find our game too childish and that the story might be boring, but it turned out the kids actually liked the story and they actually felt like they discovered something. One of them couldn't even wait to try out the game outside and wanted to keep playing it. From this we learned a lot, especially that kids really like details in the text and that the text is not only about the game but also more personal. They also feel more included when we ask more questions in the game, so they actually have to remember things the character said. We also tested the AR prototype. It was not an A/B test, but still relevant. We wanted to know what people thought about placing AR objects in open space, and we made a Google form for the tester to answer after the tests. We found out that our project still had some bugs, but that also made us figure out how to conquer them. We had hopes that everything would go well, so when it didn't, it was kind of disappointing. But it was also a good learning moment to see how we could get everything to work when we had to show the demo. After hard work, we got everything to work well for the demo. We learned a lot from all the tests, and we will definitely use it for further projects. Conclusion. In conclusion, even though we had a hard time interacting and finding participants in our target group, we got enough valuable information to make our prototype the best we could. Our first quick and dirty research gave us a good bunch of information what kids miss during this pandemic. Children miss going on vacations, their grandparents, and now they also miss school. The pandemic took a lot away, and we hope we can give them something back with this app. The A/B tests helped a lot to pinpoint specific information, such as what art styles to use or what kind of user experience or user interface fits the best. The PowerPoint prototype we tested gave us a lot of information we could use in the project as well, and it was great to see live replies to kids playing our games. We've gained a lot of insight into how to set up a good A/B test, what will be good questions to ask, and how to adapt to difficult situations. A/B tests are a great way to test the gameplay, the art, and even the feel of a game.